The morning was calm, the kind of Tennessee Saturday that felt like a fresh start. Sunlight spilled through scattered clouds, touching the quiet suburban lawns of Elmview Circle. For Dion Graves, it was more than just another weekend, it was the beginning of everything he'd worked for. He stood in the middle of his new driveway, a single cardboard box in his arms, staring at the home he'd dreamed about for years. It wasn't grand or ostentatious, just 3 bedrooms, a porch that caught the morning light, and a big oak tree that spread its branches wide over the yard. But to Dion, it was everything, a symbol of sacrifice, perseverance, and peace hard-earned after years of being overlooked and underestimated. From inside came the sound of laughter. His 8-year-old daughter, Maya, was sliding across the hardwood floors in her socks, claiming rooms with childlike authority. "Daddy! I can see the treehouse from my window," she shouted from upstairs. Dion smiled, feeling something in his chest loosen for the first time in years. "That's the point, kiddo. You've got the best view in the house." They had driven across Nashville the night before, their old apartment packed to bursting with boxes labeled in Dion's meticulous handwriting. This wasn't just a move, it was an escape from noise, cramped living, and the uneasy energy of being judged by neighbors who pretended not to. This was a reset. By noon, the first neighbors started to drift over. A retired postal worker named Doug from across the street introduced himself, followed by his cheerful wife, Cindy, who arrived holding a steaming apple pie like a peace offering. Their smiles were genuine, their questions light. For a while, everything felt right. Then, Dion noticed her. 2 houses down stood a woman in a pastel sweater, short blonde bob, and a clipboard tucked under one arm. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't moving either. Just watching, long enough for it to feel deliberate. When Dion caught her gaze, she quickly looked away, scribbling something on her pad. He tried to brush it off. Maybe she was part of the Homeowners Association. Maybe she was writing down landscaping notes. He didn't want to assume. Not this time. This was supposed to be a new start, and he wouldn't let paranoia steal that from him. That night, after Maya had fallen asleep surrounded by half-unpacked boxes, Dion sat on the porch, listening to sprinklers hiss in the distance. The neighborhood was quiet, almost too quiet. One by one, porch lights flickered on, except for hers. Her blinds were drawn tight. He told himself it was nothing, but when a faint light appeared behind her window, he could swear he saw her silhouette standing there, watching. He laughed under his breath. "Probably just curious," he muttered, locking his front door before turning in. The next morning, the smell of coffee filled the air. Sunlight poured across the living room floor, and for a moment, Dion let himself believe the world was as peaceful as it looked. Then came a sharp knock at the door. It wasn't a friendly tap, it was deliberate, impatient. Dion opened it, coffee still in hand, and found the same woman from yesterday standing there, clipboard clutched like a weapon. "Hi there," she said with a syrupy smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You must be the tenant." Dion blinked. "Tenant? No, I'm the owner." Her expression shifted slightly, lips tightening. "That's strange," she said. "I manage properties in this neighborhood for the previous owner. I wasn't informed this one was sold. I'll need to see your lease for verification." Her phrasing, "I'll need to see," wasn't a request. It was a demand. "Ma'am," Dion said evenly, "the house was sold 3 weeks ago. I closed on it myself. You can check the county records if you'd like." "Well," she replied, tapping her pen against the clipboard, "that's not what I was told. And since I'm the neighborhood coordinator, I have to make sure everything's in order. People can't just move in without notice." He crossed his arms, still calm but firm. "My name is Dion Graves. I bought the house from Paul Jenner. You can call him to confirm." Her eyes narrowed. "I know Paul. He didn't mention selling." "He definitely did," Dion said, a touch of patience fading from his voice. "The keys came straight from him. She glanced past him into the house, where boxes still lined the wall and Maya's laughter echoed faintly from upstairs. Her tone sharpened. "Well, if you're truly the owner, you wouldn't mind showing proof of ownership, would you?" "Actually," Dion replied, "I would mind. You're standing on my property, ma'am. If you have questions, contact the county or the realtor. But you don't have any authority here." Her polite mask cracked. "There's no need to be rude," she snapped. "I'm just maintaining order. We don't usually have confusion like this." Dion caught the hesitation in her voice, the unspoken "we don't usually have people like you." "Good day, ma'am," he said, closing the door gently. Behind him, Maya peeked around the hallway. "Who was that lady?" she asked. "Just someone confused," he replied, forcing a smile. But the next morning, an envelope appeared in his mailbox. Homeowners Association notice: all residents must verify occupancy. Failure to comply may result in fines or legal action. Dion sighed. Legal action, for moving into his own house. He called the number listed. No one answered. He left a calm voicemail and tried to shake it off. But by the following day, it wasn't just a misunderstanding anymore. Neighbors began whispering. Conversations stopped when he walked by. Even the kids playing down the street seemed to glance nervously at his house. Then came the email, from the Neighborhood Watch Committee. "Mr. Graves, we've received multiple reports of suspicious activity at your property. Please confirm tenancy or ownership immediately to avoid further action." "Suspicious activity," he murmured. "Unbelievable." That afternoon, as he unloaded boxes from his car, he saw her again, Sharon Lively, clipboard in hand, flanked by two men from the HOA. They stood at the edge of his driveway, talking quietly, pretending he wasn't there. He set down his box and walked over. "Morning. Something I can help you with?" Sharon turned, startled but recovering fast. "Mr. Graves, we're here to follow up. We still don't have proof of ownership, so the committee's decided to file a report." "You've decided?" Dion asked, incredulous. "Yes," one of the men said curtly. "We can't have unauthorized tenants moving into vacant homes." Dion's patience thinned. "You see me living here. You've seen my daughter in the yard. What exactly looks vacant to you?" The man hesitated, uncomfortable. Sharon didn't. "Look, no one's accusing you of anything. We just need clarity. If you're the owner, fine, show the paperwork." He took a step closer, his tone even but steel-edged. "I don't owe you my paperwork. You're not the police. You're neighbors. This is harassment." She pursed her lips. "I'll take that as a refusal to cooperate." "Take it however you want," he said. "Just remember, harassment works both ways." From across the street, curtains shifted. A few heads peeked out. Dion forced himself to stay calm. Losing control was exactly what she wanted. That night, she was back, snapping photos of his car and mailbox. Dion opened the door halfway. "Can I help you?" "Just documenting for the committee," she said. "Standard procedure." "Documenting what, my welcome mat?" She smiled tightly. "People with nothing to hide don't mind transparency." "You're trespassing," Dion said. "Leave before I call the police." "Go ahead," she said smugly. "I'll explain everything when they arrive." He didn't call. He waited. And the next morning, a new note appeared on his door. "We don't want trouble here. Keep things quiet or move out." That was the moment something shifted inside him, from disbelief to resolve. He called his old college friend, Detective Lionel Briggs, who worked with the Nashville PD. "She's been harassing me non-stop," Dion said. "Can you stop by tomorrow?" "Yeah," Lionel said, his voice calm but knowing. "I've seen this before. Some folks use rules to hide racism. I'll bring my badge. But before Lionel could arrive, the police showed up, again. 2 officers, one older, one younger, stepped out of a patrol car parked in front of his house. "Sir, we got a call about a possible trespassing situation," the older one said. Dion's heart pounded. "On my own property?" Before they could respond, Sharon appeared, playing her part. "That's him. He's been living here without authorization. I've called 3 times. This house was supposed to be vacant." The younger officer held up a hand. "Ma'am, step back. We'll handle it." Dion stayed composed. "Officers, I'm the owner. I have the deed inside." He retrieved it, along with closing documents and property tax receipts. The officers looked everything over carefully. "Looks legitimate to me," the younger one said finally. Sharon's face went pale. "You're just taking his word for it. Those could be fake." The older officer's patience snapped. "Ma'am, these are official county records. You've wasted enough of our time." She opened her mouth again, but her voice faltered. "He just doesn't fit the what?" Dion asked quietly. "Doesn't fit what, Miss Lively?" She went silent. The older officer shook his head. "This man owns his property. You're bordering on harassment. Consider this your warning." And just like that, the illusion of control she'd clung to crumbled in front of half the neighborhood. Dion didn't gloat. He just said, softly, "You could have just welcomed us." When the patrol car pulled away, neighbors scattered back inside, embarrassed by what they'd witnessed. For the first time in days, the air felt lighter. But humiliation has a way of breeding spite. That night, a dark SUV parked across from Dion's driveway, engine off, headlights dim. It sat there for nearly an hour. Dion watched from the window, texting Lionel, "Come tomorrow. Bring your badge." The next morning, Lionel arrived in plain clothes, broad-shouldered and calm. "Morning, brother," he said, shaking Dion's hand. "You